Hey everyone, it is March Chadness. We are talking brackets. Chad Rink, Nate Rink. Nate got a little sun, I can tell.
A little bit.
A little bit. How was Florida?
Outstanding.
Yeah, good weather.
Perfect. It rained hard one day, but only for a couple hours, and we'd already hit the beach. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Excellent. So it seems like it's been forever since we had a podcast, though we did have the brief one when you were in Florida,
Yes.
when you first got there. But it seems like forever since we had a bracket one, but it's only been 2 weeks. So I'm excited about this. Tournament is done. Michigan won. So this is our first podcast, and like you've said the whole time, we both picked Michigan to win it all, which just goes to prove what, Nate?
We know ball.
We know ball. That is correct. So very excited about that. So it was interesting because, like, Michigan just manhandled Arizona.
Yeah. At one point, they still only had like 40 points in the second half.
Yeah.
And at what have I said before? Games are won and lost at the foul line. Michigan couldn't hit a three to save their life, but they were just killing it from the free throw line.
In the finals, against UConn, that was an ugly game. Like I'm sorry, I don't mind good defense, but that game was just kind of ugly. No one was hitting.
Oh yeah, that was the UConn game. Yeah, they did manhandle Arizona. That was just
and then that UConn game was like to get, we didn't really talk about that yet, but that was great. We did a little bit.
Yeah.
UConn handled Illinois pretty easily, and then it was just weird to have. That was just an ugly game, and
it was an ugly game.
And Michigan, they had what? I think they hit like something like 16 or 17 straight free throws or something ridiculous. They shot over 20, and they were unreal from the foul line, and that's what won them the game because they could not hit a three to save their life. UConn did not look great either, but we have Michigan as the champion. It's the first Big Ten champion since 2000 when Michigan State won it, which is crazy. Yeah. But it was
and won the squares. So
and Nate won the squares exactly when some money's there, so that's always good. I thought I had the bracket. I went back and watched our bracket one, and it was I'm sounding echoey for some reason, but I don't know. That may be just me. So I went back through and marked everything. I thought I brought it with me, but I did not. I did win, and it really came down to the South region because on the Midwest, West, we were very close. I think one region we tied one. I think I had one more point, or you had one more point. In the East, you had me like 15-11, but the South, Illinois won that for me because you had Houston coming out into the championship game. We both had Arizona, Michigan. Illinois gave me that third Final Four team. And that was really the difference is Illinois came through for me. Michigan State did not come through for you.
No.
So I'll be hoisting the Rashaan Salam trophy. I'm probably going to be down there for Mother's Day. I'll be there. We're doing some stuff for Mother's Day first, and then I still plan on coming down in the afternoon. So I'll let you know on that. And then we may have to do a later show there, do it on Saturday maybe for Mother's Day weekend. So that was like the tournament. It was fine. I'm not like some of these people that are getting too worked up that there's not a bunch of Cinderellas. It's fun when you get a few of those in the first round. But I thought like the Elite Eight games and stuff were great. I thought just having those teams in there led to good games. I could not believe. I think the biggest surprise was that Michigan-Arizona game that it went that way. But Michigan, Michigan.
If Cinderellas make it every year, they cease to be Cinderellas. So quit your belly aching.
Yeah, and again, like it does anyone really want to see like the San Diego States of the world or like I mean Texas technically would have been, but they're not. But if you had High Point get to the Elite Eight, Final Four, no one wants to. Like at some point, you just want to see the best basketball, and I think we had it. So I I'm excited to move on from college basketball. Not that I don't like it, but it's going to be good to turn the page and start talking baseball. And I know next year we're going to be more prepared early in the season with our college basketball knowledge and not try to rely so much on our boy Jacob Reimer. So because we just jumped into this podcast, like let's just start doing it. I don't want to start looking into too much and like have to be a college basketball expert of all the players. But I think next year, I think we'll do a better job. I think that the podcast is doing well. We enjoy it. That was the first thing. Like, I don't want to, dive into this stuff and this thing just going to suck.
Right.
I was a little nervous that first one we did, but
because I was going out on my phone. My phone almost died. I was doing it in the kitchen. It was just bad decisions on my end all around.
No, you're fine. Like I said, like we're like 21 or 22 episodes in. By year 5, we'll have this thing hammered out, and it's going to be. We'll have like our other brother will just have us AI, and we don't even have to even show up anymore.
Superfly.
Superfly. So I do want to talk a little baseball because that's what we're going to do kind of for here on out in the summer. We will obviously talk NBA playoffs. We'll talk NHL because today is the last day of the NBA season. Which did you see? I think it was Friday night. And the NBA is going to expand. That's going to be a whole nother show. But there was the game. It was the Grizzlies, and they were who were they playing? They were playing somebody, and they were both trying to tank to get a guaranteed top 4 pick. And so the one team, I got to pull it up. It was Memphis against somebody. The one team, their starting 5 were guys that were not on the roster day one, and they're all 10-day contract guys. And the other one, and one team only, it was Utah. One team only played 6 guys. Utah played 7. And to try to take, and then starting off like Memphis, somebody on Memphis. It was Whitehead. I don't even know. I got like Derek Whitehead, but Derek is Dariq, obviously.
Of course.
He like scored their first like 14 points or something. And then like he got off to a hot start, and then they benched him until because then Utah ended up winning by like 46. And it's the first game. This is again, you got like none of these guys I could have even told you was in the NBA except Ace Bailey, John Concher were both there. And I think Kyle Chandler or Kennedy Chandler, not even Kyle. Like, so I knew like 2 guys on any of these starting rosters. But it's the first time in NBA history 3 guys from the same game had triple doubles, and it was like these scrub guys that nobody's ever heard of. So, but obviously the NBA should expand.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so that was good. So we'll talk NH because this is the last day for NBA. NHL is done here. I think this week's their last week, but baseball is in full effect. Nate and I love baseball. I'm excited. I'm very excited when we were like, hey, we're going to talk baseball. I'm less excited because our Cubs are total trash.
Our bullpen's bad. Our starting pitchers, since we're doing starting pitching, I saw yesterday, we have the best ERA in starting pitchers in all of Major League Baseball, but we can't either get runs or we give up leads. I mean, I don't know if you saw Imanaga pitched, 6 innings.
He was great. Yeah, he was great the other day.
Field bar comes in, first pitch is a single, second pitch is a 2-run homer, and it's just
I knew I was watching that game because I knew Imanaga would be okay because the wind was blowing in at like 17 miles an hour, and that's when he's the best because he can't give up home runs. And I saw he had a no going through 6, but then I looked like, oh, he's got 100 pitches. They are not going to let him continue, which I think is stupid. I'm like, dude, like just pitch, man. I remember when Kershaw
games all the time.
I know, like we'll talk about this. I'm going to get ahead of ourselves, but Kershaw did that a few years ago where he had a perfect game through 6 and he had thrown like 72 pitches and they yanked him. If I'm pitching a perfect game and I've only got 7, I don't care how many pitches. I'm like, dude, I'm staying out here until I don't and get back in the dugout, Dave Martinez.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. We'll talk about that more with starting pitchers and stuff. But, it's still early with baseball. The weather has not been great. So, it's just weird these early part of the season because you don't really get a feel for people who's good, who's bad. But there's probably teams. I'm gonna look right now. that are probably like 20 games out already, but no, there's not. It's actually pretty decent. The Dodgers 11-3 lead everybody, and then everything else is pretty solid. There's not like a really horrible team yet. So
yeah, we're in last place and we're 2 games out.
Yeah. So, and our division, I think our division may be the weakest division of the entire major leagues, because Pittsburgh's got pieces like with Chandler, who's pitching tonight against the Cubs, and that the wind's blowing out like 23 miles an hour, something ridiculous. He's good. And that's the thing that I saw somewhere, was like the Cubs did not face Paul Skeens in this series at home, and they could get swept by the Pirates.
Unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. I was mad yesterday because I had the Cubs game under, like the under 6.5, because the wind, because I just thought it was going to be a low scoring game. And of course it was 3-2 going in the 9th. And then Bregman ties it up at 3-3, which pretty much voids, I can't win under 6.5. And then we don't even come and win. Like, I'm like, okay, if we tie it up, let's win it. We don't even win.
Bases loaded twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Our hitting is not there. And again, and what hurts us too is Horton's out for the year, and that was it. Like, I was hoping we'd tread water till Steele got back, but now the Horton's gone. It's maybe a done deal. But the Reds, like that division's just weird. Nobody's good in it. We could talk later on once next week or whatever, maybe some predictions and stuff. But it's pretty weird that no team's really just gone way ahead. Like the NL West is that Dodgers are 11-3 again. They just look phenomenal. And I want to talk, like, people that want to get mad about the Dodgers. I'm like, you can't get mad at the Dodgers because you get mad at the teams that didn't sign the players they should have signed that the Dodgers could not get. Like the fact that they got Ohtani, like, go just sign Ohtani. Like, how do you not sign Ohtani? Like, dude, he's the best player. Sign him. Like, Pittsburgh's that way too. Pittsburgh have these great players and they just won't sign them because they're cheap. And then the Dodgers go get them. And I'm not a big, I don't care.
If family was spending all that money on the Cubs and doing the same thing, I would be over the moon.
Yeah.
Unapologetically, just like, why not?
It's the rules. Like, and I don't care. Like, people are like, oh, we should have a salary. I'm like, why? Like, if we don't have to. I like that some of them do, like the NFL has a salary cap and stuff, but Major League Baseball doesn't. Like, who cares? It's like, just do it. And they won't. And it's just I don't know. I'm an unk. So, like, I think, like, the NBA expanding, like, I think the NFL is kind of like perfect where it is. If they got rid of 2 teams, I wouldn't be mad. But basketball needs to go back to like 24 teams.
Yeah.
Because you want to bring, because I'm telling you right now, I saw something where the Major League Baseball, I think, has surpassed NBA as the second most popular pro sport behind football. And it's been a minute since Major League Baseball has get there. I'm telling you, with the NBA, the problem with the NBA is there's too many teams. There have been so many blowouts this year. It's like it's crazy. Like, you just turn on, I was like, oh, it's like a random game in February, and there's 3 games that are like 25-point games.
Right.
And I'm like, you never had, like, you very rarely did you have that growing up in 8. Like, I'm telling you, if you took out 6 teams in the NBA, the basketball would be phenomenal.
It'd be a much better product.
It would be, and that would get people to really watch it. Because again, I don't mind, the 3-point line. I'm not that old that I hate the 3-point line. I do hate the metrics that say the only good shots are a 3-point shot and a layup. That's an issue I have. Because again, the best shot is an open shot. We've talked about this before. Yeah. And the NBA, and it's just like, there's just so many things with the NBA that it's just, I don't know. It's just a flopping. It's the gather. The flopping is bad. And then just the gather step. Like, we will talk about this at another time probably, but the people that want to argue today's basketball versus the 80s and 90s. Again, everyone wants to bring up, and I saw it today, like the one playoff series where the Bulls like just manhandled the Jazz and held them like 57 points. And people want to say, like, that series, Stockton and Hornacek had like combined for, like, their numbers weren't great. Right. And say, oh, like, Draymond was talking about it, that team would have just smoked the Jazz. And I want to say, part of the reason why that team probably scored 54 points is that Bulls team, that second three-peat Bulls team may have been the best defensive team to ever be created. And people want to argue. I'm like, dude, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Ron Harper was a great defensive player. And then Kukoc was our weak link, but the defense was better then. And I still want to say, people want to say like, the athletes are better now. I'm like, I think people are more athletic now, but I'm telling you, what we didn't see a lot of in the 80s and 90s?
What's that?
20-year-olds having Achilles tear.
Yeah.
How are you better athletes if you have to have like an Achilles tear? Or
guys played full seasons.
Yeah.
Every game.
Well, that's just it. That's the other thing. If you're a better athlete, why do you need so many like rest days? Like, exactly. What's that? And then again, this is going to be one of the greatest segments of all time in any show ever with the Tommy John surgeries, where you never had a Tommy John surgery until Tommy John had it, which is why it's named after him. And you had guys like pitching like complete games. Anyone that pitches a complete game now, it's like a shock.
Yeah. And
there was the one season, and we'll get to it, where a pitcher had like he pitched like 8 or 9 innings in every single start, but like 2. And we will get into that into our starting pitcher bracket. So thanks for checking out fanstreamsports.com here. We are live, so we don't have the little ad thing there. This would be a great place for like Ego or somebody that would like to sponsor March Chadness. You can reach out to any of us, and if you just reach me and like, hey, we'd like to sponsor, we would love to have a full-time sponsor on the 96th most popular basketball podcast according to one of the Apple charts that I saw. So
right.
I can't find any more, so it might be a Mandela effect or something like that. So yeah, we will dive into this starting pitcher bracket. So we want to do a starting pitcher bracket. Baseball has started, and we thought, let's do a starting pitcher bracket. I think it's a fun one to do. We had talked about having we do certain teams with who their best players, but when we looked into that, a lot of teams, it's pretty obvious who the best player is. And like we're Cubs fans, like it's going to be Ernie Banks. Like that, there's no real surprise. The Final Four and some of the stuff that we've done, there really isn't a surprise a lot of times. But I think starting pitching's interesting because you have the older guys versus the newer guys. We decided we are not going like super old school. So like the Walter Johnsons and the Cy Youngs of the world. Sorry, we're not doing that.
Although they did have better nicknames back then,
They did. That's why I was trying to stall type.
Oil can was, Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another guy who is 19th all time in wins. Old Hoss Rayborn. I would love to have added Old Hoss Rayborn as a 8 seed. But again, like we didn't see everybody that pitched, but those old guys, like I had a cutoff. Like you had to have pitched some in the 60s.
You didn't put in Tin Can Pepper Bottom from the early 1900s?
No, I did not. But those old, man, you go back and look at the old baseball nicknames, they are phenomenal. So let's bring the bracket in here. I'm going to do full screen bracket because I try to do this and it doesn't look bad, but then it's not. We won't keep the bracket up most time anyways, but I just like to do it when we first talk about it. So they're going to be 32. Maddox, number 1 seed against the aforementioned Tommy John at a 16. 8-9, Glavine versus Scherzer. You got an older guy, Warren Spahn, versus another older guy, Phil Niekro. And you got Pedro Martinez, Jim Palmer as a 5-12 matchup. You go down, Tom Seaver as a 3 seed against Bartolo Colon, Verlander versus Schilling, Clayton Kershaw, Bob Feller, Bob Gibson, Gaylord Perry. So we could have a Bob off in the second round. Roger Clemens is the other number 1 overall seed, and we will talk, should even be in this with his PEDs. But we will have a conversation on that against Jim Cott, the only one with back-to-back A's, I believe, in his name. Our boy Fergie Jenkins versus Burt Blyleven. Randy Johnson's versus Jack Morris, 4-13. Don Sutton, Zach Greinke. Steve Carlton, a 3 seed against Don Drysdale. Sandy Koufax versus Dwight Gooden. Musina CC Sabathia, a couple former Yankees at a 7-10. And to round it out, Nolan Ryan is a 2 seed versus Felix Hernandez. So anything like before we get started, Nate, is there number one? Let's talk about some guys that maybe aren't going to be on this list, but we want to talk about because of just how they were great. Some of the things they did, maybe they're cut short injury. There's a couple guys I have. I know there's a couple guys you have. So you text me about a guy. So why don't you bring him up first?
Jim Abbott. He pitched a no-hitter with one hand. I know he had more losses than he did wins, but you take anybody on this list and you take away their non-dominant hand, I guarantee you their numbers are not what they were. All right.
Jim Cott would be a stud with one hand. No, I mean that's true. Like I said, his overall numbers do not merit being on here, but what Jim Abbott did is pretty phenomenal. And then there would be times he would have to bat. There's a couple times he did bat. He was fortunate enough to be in the AL, and so they had the DH, and that was prior to most of the interleague play. Which can we get rid of the interleague play now? It was fun for a minute, but it's kind of a lost knowledge now. I'd kind of rather have it separate again now that everyone has a DH.
The Reds started against the Red Sox. We can't be starting the season with interleague play. It's if you want to do it once or twice a year and have the Subway Series and stuff like that, and then the other people just. But yeah, that was half the fun when we were growing up. Is once it got to the World Series, these guys had never seen each other. Right.
Yeah, and then you would play and that was the fun part. Like you would play the DH in the AL, and then you would have the AL pitchers would have to bat in the NL in this thing. So it was fun. And again, I understand why they did it because it's always about money. But at this point, let's not. It's fine. We don't need to let's not do that anymore. Jim Abbott is a good one. He always seemed like a good dude too. I will talk about who probably, if I was making a rotation of our Cubs, like the all-time greatest rotation, is obviously going to be Maddox, Fergie Jenkins, and then I'm gonna throw in Kerry Wood.
Yeah,
Kerry Wood. He had injuries that derailed him, and then he ended up the back half of his career coming out of the bullpen, which I'm a big fan. Like, if anything, John Smoltz proved. Like, if you have a starter like that can't go that much anymore besides the stuff, just convert him into like a reliever. Like, you look at Eckersley, it's like one of the greatest relief pitchers of all time, started as a starter. Kerry Wood had some electric stuff. He's one of the guys that has 20 strikeouts in a game. That game was phenomenal. Yeah, he just had injuries, and then so he did not play a lot of games the back half of his career. And then again, he did convert to the bullpen. He was a decent reliever, and then again, injuries just derailed him big time. But I loved Kerry Wood. And so I think he could have maybe snuck on this list had he had an injury-free career.
Yeah, and as far as all-time Cubs rotations, I'm putting Zambrano in too, especially if we had to bat that guy.
Yeah. Zambrano was underrated. I always loved me some Mark Pryor. I have a Mark Pryor Cubs jersey and stuff like that. But yeah, Wood was one of those guys. My buddy Dave, he was a big J.R. Richards guy. J.R. Richards had some electric stuff for a few years. So again, the top 10 was pretty tough. And then once you get the back half, you could interchange a lot of these guys. I really was looking at wins, strikeouts were the big ones. Because again, like Cy Young's could kind of fit in, but Cy Young is one of those weird. Cy Young's and MVPs and like all-star voting. I don't pay too much attention to that because like Cy Young, like Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young,
which is nonsense.
It's nonsense. So it just depends because like you could have had a mediocre season, but if nobody else stood out, then you got a Cy Young award. Right. And same thing with like MVPs. Like you can't tell me that during their 10-year prime, Michael Jordan and LeBron James weren't the most valuable player in the league and they should just won it. But you can't do that. It's just one of those weird things. So I didn't take Cy Young's too much into it. but really strikeouts
I
and
didn't
win.
take all-star appearances at all.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I was just wins and strikeouts just to kind of see where they fit all time. And even wins is a weird one too, because I think Nolan Ryan had like 100 and some games where he either had a no decision or loss and his team scored like 2 or less runs. So it's just one of those weird things that depending what your team does and that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I went with, and then just how people view these guys in the grand scheme of things. So let's start this off. We got Maddox, Tommy John. Obviously, I think this is going to be pretty easy. Maddox could arguably be the greatest pitcher of all time. He has 355 career wins, so he's top 10 in wins. He's also up there in strikeouts as well. Right. So, I mean, and just like he did it without like a unbelievable fastball as well, which it's kind of neat.
He was the real estate agent. It was location, location, location.
Exactly.
He didn't need big heater to do what he needed to do, man. He was just
no. And they call him the professor because he was like the Tony Gwynn of pitchers, where he could understand how to set up a pitch, and he was so brilliant on the corners. And so like Tommy John got on there just because he's the only pitcher on here that has a surgery named after him, so I think he should have got a little bit of love on that. I mean, he's 26 in wins. He has 288, which is nothing to sneeze at.
No. Well, speaking of the Tommy John surgeries, it was the career ender, and now guys in college get it done so they can get it out of the way before they go into the major leagues, which is crazy. And do we think it's because this is a year-round deal? They don't get an off season. You're telling me guys that had off seasons that were drinking beers and ripping heaters could pitch longer? It's got to be part of that. Junk pitches at young age, and the fact that they're doing it year-round is not good for your arm. So
the junk pitches, and it's the year-round thing and that's for every sport. That's why I think we get these injuries. Like I tore my Achilles, but I was 44 when I did it, and I was not playing basketball all the time. And then like you get these, like you had 3 torn Achilles in the NBA playoffs last year alone. And all the guys were like Dame was a little bit older, but the other 2, like Halliburton and Tatum, were under 26. So you can't continue to work a muscle over again at that level all year round without taking some time off for it to, because you only have so many pitches.
Yeah.
Like and that's why you always look at a lot of the guys that make it to the pros in any sport. They were multiple sport guys in high school and stuff, because that you stay in shape, you're building other muscles, and just the competition stuff. So I think that's the problem. It's just and then, with basketball, with the AAU, and then baseball with travel, you're not supposed to be at 13, 14, 15-year-old playing baseball 10 months out of the year, So that is the biggest problem. And then I think that the problem also is then you baby these pitchers. Like you expect these guys we can't let them throw over 90. Like these young pitchers that come up like Mizorowski, Crochet, those kind of guys. It's like they baby these guys. I remember when the Nationals, and I really wish they wouldn't have won World Series. Like they were like, dude, they had Strasburg, they had Scherzer. They were the best team in the National League. And then they strut Steven Strasburg down for the playoffs because they're like, well, we don't want to injure his arm. But I'm like, you may not get back here.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt anyways later on. And it's the dumbest thing. Like we had talked about it. Like, you're pitching a perfect game. Oh, you got 72 pitches. We got to pull you because it's April. I'm like, they're not doing the exercises, the long throw that they would do in the outfield. It's crazy. Like it's nuts. And I hate it because I love complete games. And I hate that we've gotten to the point where it's, if you get 6, then we're going to bring a guy in for the 7th, a guy in for the 8th, and then our closer, which I also hate too, because if you bring a guy into the 7th inning and he pitches 8 pitches and looks electric. Why not bring him back out? Because you don't know if that 8th inning guy is going to have his stuff. And then it's always like, well, the lefty righty match. I'm like, why is it just relief pitchers? Like the starting pitcher can pitch to anybody, but relief pitchers, oh, it's a lefty. This guy bats 8 percentage points better against a left-handed pitcher. So it's the metrics I hate. And I'm going to get on this soapbox for a minute, which has nothing to do with pitching, but it kind of does. Like I'm glad the stolen bases are back in Major League, but I hate the fact that they banned the shift, because you're banning a strategy because Major League Baseball players today are either too stupid or too whatever that they can't go opposite field. Like, it's like people are in love with the home run so much. And it was like, what's his face? I can't remember who it was. It was Joey Gallo was complaining about it. It's like, well, it's because you're like a 200 hitter. If you have no one on the left, if you have no one on the third base side of second, probably should go that way.
Yes, it's not
I play softball. I'm a right-handed batter. We played co-ed softball. I would always go right field because I knew the worst girl would be there. And if I hit it hard enough, it would go past her to the wall. And when I had wheels back in my 20s, I could at least get a triple, sometimes a home run. I remember Dave stopped me at third one time because he didn't think I was going to make it. And I just said, screw you, Dave. I'm going in. And I scored. He was laughing at me. He's like, and of course, he come in. When I tell you to stop, you got to stop.
Don't be blowing off my side.
Exactly. But no, it's just crazy with these metrics. And I love metrics and stuff, but I think sometimes it's just, you got to get a feel for things. So that's a lot of stuff to talk about for our first matchup. But
we got a lot of stuff out of the way.
So Glavine Scherzer's a fun one. Because you talk about Glavine. Glavine was on that Braves rotation. It was Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, and then you throw in Steve Avery, not the guy from Making a Murderer,
right?
But Steve Avery, the pitcher. That may have been the greatest rotation of all time.
Yeah, I have Tom Glavine, best number 2 in history. That guy'd be an ace on every other team at that time.
I know, like he's got 300 wins. Like is the second best pitcher on that roster. He's 300 over 300 wins. He was so good. Like it, you know, but then you look at Scherzer's number, and Scherzer's still pitching now.
Right.
Max Scherzer is 11th all time in strikeouts, which is crazy.
Right.
Like he is 11th. He will make 10th because he's only 14 behind Walter Johnson. So he should get that. He could end up, I don't know if he make it top 5 because he's less than 100. I mean, he's less than 100 away. Verlander's ahead of him, so he could get to top 5 this year, depending on how he does. So I think this is a tough one. I think I got to go Glavine.
I think I do too. I do want to say my favorite Max Scherzer stat is when they started doing the city uniforms and you could have whatever.
Yeah.
On the back. The first year, because he's got 2 different color eyes.
Right.
First year it was blue eye. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And then the next year he was playing the long game. He set it up and he got to wear a jersey that said brown eye on the back. And I'm like, this man is a genius.
Yes. Dude, I love Scherzer because he has that dog in him, man. I love when they try to pull him and he is not ready to get pulled and he will go at it with the manager. So Scherzer's one of those guys, like if I was making a roster like of guys in their prime, like I'm looking at him because he had electric stuff. Yeah. Back then too. I think he played for the Nationals as well. He might have been on that the World Series team. But Glavine, just longevity, like dude, he has 300 wins. He just part of that rotation. So I'm taking Glavine as well. But Scherzer, shout out to him.
No slouch.
No slouch. This one's gonna be like a quick one. I think it's Warren Spahn versus Phil Niekro. I honestly think Phil Niekro is kind of cheesy. Him and another guy on here, but he pitched forever. And you just got to look at the stats. Like he's probably top 20 in both strikeouts and wins because he pitched for. Yeah, he's 16th in win. He's got 318 wins, and he's 13th all time in strikeouts. So the numbers are there.
Wins, yeah, and dude, bring back knuckleballers. Come on.
I know the knuckleball, yeah, and but then Warren Spahn though, like he's
sixth in wins, and he's got 2 no-hitters. I think Warren Spahn takes it just because.
I think so too. And I think Warren Spahn just like I mean, the fact he's 6th in wins, just
had
ahead of Kid Nichols,
4-time NL strikeout leader.
Yeah, I mean, like Necro was he was like the longevity guy. Like Spawn had the better, I think, career, was more of a dominant pitcher in his time, even though I didn't really see him. Where Necro never really was. Necro was never, I don't think, the best pitcher in his time. He may have a Cy Young, just because he pitched for so long. They're just like,
I don't have it written down, so I don't think he does, but I may have missed it.
No, I'm looking at it right now. I got Baseball Reference pulled up. I don't think he does. Like, he finished 2nd and 3rd a couple times on it. So he did not. So yeah, Warren Spawn's going to win. And then this one, some people, especially some older heads, may think Jim Palmer as a 12 seed is underseeded. And Palmer had a good career, but I think people kind of maybe forget how, like, Pedro Martinez was the most dominant pitcher for probably a 3-year span. He was unreal, electric stuff. And again, his longevity, not like some of these guys. And, I just loved watching him pitch. Because he just, like, he would not back down. And that was the great era where just hitting guys, you could hit guys all the time. He was the ERA. He led the league in ERA 5 times. He probably led the strike. He only led it in strikeouts 3. But Pedro's great. And Jim Palmer, like I said, you look at Palmer's numbers overall, like, he's probably the best Orioles pitcher there is.
He won 20 games in 8 different seasons.
Yeah, which is which is just great. The fact that he did that is unbelievable, that he won 20 games in 8 different seasons, because you barely can find a 20-game winner now.
Yeah.
And he did it in 8 different seasons. He was good, but I think I'm giving the nod to Pedro. And I think, because there's a thing with Jim Palmer, he won 20 games in 8 different seasons, and he still didn't get the 300 wins.
Right.
And that was the time they let these guys pitch forever too. Like, it wasn't like they were yanking them and stuff. So, and those Orioles teams that he was on were good. So I don't know how he does not get the 300 wins. He was never a strikeout guy. Pedro's got 3,000. I just think if you're talking about best pitchers dominance, like Pedro, that stretch was unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's probably because I don't remember watching any Jim Palmer, and I remember watching Pedro Martinez.
Well, that's it too. It's a little bit recency bias, because, like, I remember Palmer in the 80s with that Orioles team, but it was like, I just think Pedro was something special, because there's going to be a guy later on that I did not see pitch that I think is probably a top 4 pitcher of all time. All right, bottom half. Tom Seaver, Bartolo Colon. I didn't realize how good of numbers Bartolo Colon had until I looked it up. I mean, he pitched for like 47 years, I believe. But Bartolo Colon's numbers, a lot, like, I just, when I was looking at it, I'm like, really, Bartolo Colon? He's got 247 wins, which is no slouch. No. And I don't think he's got like, he doesn't have 3,000. He's like 2,500 strikeouts. I put him under too, because it's just, he was so great. Like, he just was a fun guy. He is not Tom Seaver, I think, may be one of the most underrated starting pitchers of all time. Because you start talking about great pitchers, Seaver's usually not one of the top 5 guys you talk about.
18th in wins, 3 Cy Youngs. He was Rookie of the Year. He was the 3-time win leader, 3-time ERA leader, 5-time strikeout leader, 18th in wins. Yeah, Tom Seaver was a beast. Yeah,
and he's 6th in strikeouts.
There you go.
So, Seaver's winning this one pretty easily. And then we got one of more recent guys, which I kind of like. You've got Verlander, who is still pitching against Curt Schilling, who may be my least favorite pitcher on this list. And that's just because John Lackey didn't make it.
But he did have the bloody sock game.
He did, like Schilling was like, he was like the pennant guy, the playoff pitcher. He was unbelievable. I just didn't like him. He was a great pitcher, and when it mattered most, like he brought it and everything like that. Verlander,
taking
Huh?
Verlander.
I am too. Verlander, he's still pitching now. He's 37th in wins. He is 8th in strikeouts, and he's probably going to move up. He could pass. He's about 100 behind Seaver. I don't know how much he's going to pitch this year. He could get to 6th. And there's like a stretch. Verlander was the guy. So I am taking Verlander. Plus, wasn't he married to somebody like a model or something? Can't remember who he's married to. I have to look that up. But it was somebody. But I just like him better than Schilling too, and I think he's better. All right, Clayton Kershaw, Kate Upton, yes.
Well done, Verlander. That gets him the win.
That if there was a close one, that would put him over the top. Clayton Kershaw, Bob Feller. I don't remember much of Bob Feller, but I looked at his numbers up, and he was solid.
That feller was solid. But I'm taking Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, strikeouts,
5-time ERA leader, no hitter, 3-time win leader, 3-time strikeout leader.
Yeah, and plus Bob Feller played for the Indians, so Cleveland, they deserve another loss.
Yes.
So, and then we've got Bob Gibson, Gaylord Perry. Gaylord Perry is one guy I was talking about when I was talking about Phil Niekro. I think is just kind of cheesy, and he kind of cheated all the time, and it was just longevity got him there. Again, I'm sure he was fine. Like I said, you don't get the numbers he has if you're bad, because he's 17th in wins,
10th in strikeouts.
Yeah, 10th in strikeouts. So he was. I just always I guess because when we watched him, it was the end of his career, and he was just kind of cheesy at that point.
When I was little, it felt like he was 100 years old.
I know it did. He was crazy, but no, he had a solid season. He had one Cy Young. He had
two.
He had two Cy Youngs. He had two Cy Youngs. So he was good, but I when I think of Gaylord Perry, I think of doctoring up the ball, him pulling the pockets out, and the nail file coming out.
The guy from Major League.
The guy from exactly. That's the guy from Major League. Gaylord Perry could have been higher. I just put him here, but here's the guy I was talking about that I never saw pitch, but is probably, if you ask me, top 4 pitcher of all time. Bob Gibson. He had that one season where he only had 2 starts where he went less than 8 innings. And that dude, my favorite Bob Gibson, I don't know if you heard this. So Bob Gibson, one of the last batters he faced, the guy hit a home run off him in the end of his career. I don't know if it was the last, but it was the last time he faced this one guy. Guy hit a home run off him. You fast forward 15 years, 20 years, whatever. They're playing like an old timers game. That guy comes up, faces Gibson, and Gibson plunks him in an old timers game, which I love. That dude, this guy's getting it. He's thinking about it, dude. If I face him, he probably was like, dude, make sure I'm pitching when this guy's up because I owe him a fastball in the back.
Old school baseball.
Yeah, and Gibson, dude, you look at Gibson's numbers, holy, his ERA, it just is unbelievable. The years he put together, he only had 250 wins, but he had over 3,000 strikeouts, but there was just crazy, a couple of these seasons that he did put together. He had a season where he had a 1.12 ERA.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And he had 9 gold gloves.
He had what?
9 gold gloves.
But that's just ridiculous. That's him and Maddox. Maddox was a great fielder as well. He also has 2 Cy Youngs. Yeah. It's just you watch. He's just one of those guys you watch and oh, he's just different. And I think let's see. I'm looking at. He's only got one. I think he's only got 2 seasons where he had over 3.5 ERA.
That's wild.
Or 3 when he had 3.83. 2 of them are the last 2 years of his career. It's not so. Yeah, I just think Bob Gibson. He's one of those guys that I look at like Jim Brown, where I never watched him, just hear about him and seeing highlights like, okay, he's got to be one of the top of all time, even though I never watched him play. And he did play in an older era, but I think he could have been great in any. All right, that ends the top section. Now we're talking about Roger Clemens, and we want to talk about, I know some of you people that are the baseball purists and be like, he did have PEDs, the ones that don't want to put Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and stuff in the Hall of Fame. The people that won't vote a player like since what was it? Not eat? Was it eat? No, it was Mariano Rivera, like a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer, which is stupid because I've always said you're either a first ballot Hall of Famer or you're not a Hall of Famer, because like 10 years, if you're not a first ballot Hall of Famer, 5 more years of you not pitching, then you're a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like you did nothing since then. And I think the Hall of Fame and for all sports has become a Hall of Good.
Yeah.
And it's a money grab, because I'm telling you right now, if you look at the first time eligible people, Mitch Moreland is on there. Like, why are we even talking to, like, Mitch Moreland should be like you're eligible for the Hall of Fame, but we're not even going to consider you in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's Buster Posey's the only one on that list that I would even consider. But the thing is, like, is it really a Hall of Fame if we're getting 4 or 5, 6 people in every year? Like, there's not always that good a player. Like, Hall of Fame back in my day was like, oh my gosh, these guys were the all-time greatest. And now we're talking about throwing Jeff Kent in. And I know the people that love Jeff Kent are going to say, well, no, shut up. Jeff Kent was fine. He could hit home runs as a second baseman. He looked like he should be in your softball league.
He famously hated baseball.
And he didn't like baseball. He was so good. He was the Brooks Koepka of baseball. And again, you want to compare him to, and I know I'm a little biased because Ryan Sandberg is my favorite athlete of all time. Comparing Ryan Sandberg is not even close.
No,
like guys like Jeff. I'm a huge Ryan Sandberg fan. I'm like, Ryan Sandberg is probably a fringe Hall of Famer. I was even like, I don't know if he is. He had a great career.
9 consecutive gold or 9 gold.
He was one of the best second basemen of all time. He had 40 home runs.
Led the NL in home runs. And
before second baseman and shortstops hit home runs.
Right.
Has an MVP. That 84 season though, unbelievable. Because I think he was 1 triple away from having over 20 homers, 20 doubles, 20 triples, and some other stats too. That 84 season was glorious. But we're in a Hall of Good. Plus the Hall of Fame. Here's the thing: you want to be the Hall of Fame. It's the museum for the sport. And if you're telling me you can't have the all-time hits leader in there because he did gamble on sports, like he was ahead of his time.
Yeah,
everyone's doing it now.
Yeah,
and again,
commercials in between every inning.
Mm-hmm. But no, we're not going to put Pete Rose in. And if you think Barry Bonds was good because of steroids, you don't know ball. Like he was amazing. Greg
Maddux just stopped pitching to him. I think Greg Maddux might have been the one who started to just walk him.
Right. Yeah. Just like, why are we doing that? You've got 27 outs. Why are we even dealing with this guy? The fact that Barry Bonds, he had over 200 intentional walks in the season.
Yeah.
The fact that they would walk him with the bases loaded.
Yes.
If you get walked with the bases loaded, that means you are good. That's that is like the equivalent of like a box and one in basketball. Like, dude, we would rather give up 1 run than pitch to you because you will probably hit a grand slam.
Well, even when he was the skinny guy in Pittsburgh, he was impossible to get out. He would never strike out.
Dude, he was so good. He was so good. And here's the thing about the steroid era. Like there's certain guys
everybody was doing it.
Yeah, everybody's doing it. And there's guys like the Brady Andersons of the world, which it did help them go from 11 home runs to 50.
Sosa went from a 30-30 guy to a 71 guy in 2 years. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing about Sosa, man. I feel bad for Sosa. Sosa hit 60 home runs 3 separate seasons and never won the home run crown.
It's terrible.
It is terrible. And here's the thing. Mark McGwire taking steroids in the Bonds, it just made their home runs go from 380 to 500. They were still going to be hitting they were both good. McGwire hit 40 his rookie year.
Yeah.
And stuff. We still had pimples. He didn't have pimples on his face yet because he wasn't taking the roids. But
they were on his back.
Yeah. And again, you still have to hit the ball though. That's just it.
Yeah.
You still have to hit the ball. And Bonds was so good. And Clemens is the same way. Clemens was great before he started taking the PEDs. And I think with the PEDs, a lot of that was more for recovery.
100%.
And again, stuff like that. So I'm not a big stickler with, because again, if everybody was doing it in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, why wasn't everybody good?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Clemens, I threw Jim Cott on just because I'm like, I had to throw one last guy on. I'm like, his numbers are decent, but Clemens, like,
how many hands did Jim Cott have?
He had as many hands as he does A. He has many hands as he does A's in his last name.
All right. So he had twice as many as Jimmy. Okay, just checking.
Yeah. Jim Abbott had more B's in his last name and T's, I think. Yes. So Clemens is going to win. Fergie Jenkins, Burt Blyleven. I think our love for the Cubs is going to sway this. But I also think, I think of all the pitchers, like I remember when Burt Blyleven, because I think he finally got in the Hall of Fame. I was like, that was the point. I said, what are we doing with the Hall of Fame? Like Burt Blyleven?
He is fifth in strikeouts. But
you look at his stats. Again, you look at his stats. They are good, but he pitched for like 22 years, but he was he's Burt Blyleven. He pitched 22 years and never got 300 wins.
Yeah. I think the love for Fergie is going to take this one. I do have. Remember when we'd get the Vine line when they retired the number 31 for Maddox and Jenkins? So they got their stats. So Greg Maddux pitched 47 complete games, which you don't see anymore. But Fergie Jenkins pitched 347 complete games. 300 more. It probably never was hurt, So that's just proof. I think guys can do it. Give them an offseason.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just look at it now. Like, we're talking about Burt Blyleven. Burt Blyleven had 242 complete games. If Burt Blyleven can do it,
yes,
I'm pretty sure. Like Tariq Skubal, and again, I would rather. Again, I would love to talk like this and like I know we're talking pitchers, but if I'm an owner with the way metrics are going and how they're handling pitchers, I would say give me a bunch of like Freddie Freeman, give me a bunch of Luis Arias, give me a bunch of 300 to 330 hitters who are going to, merit like 8-9 pitch at bats that would walk. It's kind of like Moneyball. Just give me guys that are I will single you to death, and your starting pitcher is going to have like 57 pitches through 3 innings. You're going to have to yank them, and then you're going to tax your bullpen, and we'll just sing you to death. I don't care if I don't hit a home run at all. No. 8 runs is 8 runs.
Get the starting pitcher out
and just I would do that, and then I would just give me. I don't even need like the schemes. Give me the guys like the Alcantara. Give me guys that are good, but like, can you go 8 innings?
Yeah.
Or if you want to play that game, just get the most elite bullpen of all time.
Yeah.
And then just do that. And I think teams are doing that. That's the other thing about baseball I thought was weird when they first did like, what's this opener business? Like the team that first did that, I can't remember. I think it was the Rays, and it might have been with what's his name? Yeah, where it's like, hey, let's just throw this middle reliever guy in for the first 2, and then bring the other guy in, which is kind of smart, but it's also like
you don't have like a 5th guy in the rotation, I guess, that you're not
right.
It's still just weird.
It is weird, and now everyone does it. Probable opener, and then you got the long reliever guy. It's like what are we doing here? Like it's so weird with some of this stuff, and I understand like, hey, things need to change. But I think in baseball of all the sports, I think the metrics has kind of taken over and has really made it a little bit weird. Like they just look too much into that, like lefty, righty.
Thanks a lot, Jonah Hill.
Exactly. Although I did see the one guy that I can't remember what the podcast was. I think it was one of those like the Chicago guys podcast talking about how people get Moneyball wrong because Miguel Tejada was there, the pitching staff. He's like, this movie wasn't about that. It was about how do you replace the John. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, that I was like, and again, I just like getting mad about that movie. So, all right, here's like two studs, man. If you don't remember Jack Morris from the late 80s, early 90s, you did not want to face him in the play. And he's one of the guys, I think he had like a 13 inning World Series game or a playoff game, he pitched 13 innings. Like he was one of those guys, just give me the ball, go. Jack Morris good. Randy Johnson, though, like, and the thing with Randy Johnson is you look at his stats, like he did not get a lot of run early on in his pitching career because he was with the Expos. That's how old we are.
Yeah.
And he did not get a lot of like in the first 3 years, he had like 4 starts his rookie year. He ended up 28 between Montreal. And Montreal only gave him 6, and he got to Seattle, and they gave him 22 because I think they realized,
this guy almost touches home plate when he pitches.
Exactly, and he's throwing like 100 miles an hour. Randy Johnson is second all-time in strikeouts. He threw over 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 4 in a row in that 90 to 2002-3 stretch. So good. 300 wins.
Perfect game, a no-hitter,
yep.
2-time Triple Crown, and exploded a bird.
He was talking about that. How he was like, I'm second in strikeouts, all this stuff, and everyone remembers me for killing a bird, it's just great. Like Jack Morris was great. Don't get me wrong. Jack Morris was the pitcher in the 90s. But Randy Johnson, it's crazy that he's a 4 seed. I think. Who's seeding these guys?
I don't know.
Right.
But anybody who's 6'10" should be a 3 or higher.
Exactly. Don Sutton, Zach Greinke. This is going to be like the lowest rated viewed matchup, I think, of all of them. 2 solid pitchers that just went out and got the job done. No one's going crazy over either, but Don Sutton, 14th, tied with Nolan Ryan with wins.
8th in strikeouts.
And what? Yeah, he's top 10 in strikeouts, which I was like, if you would have told me that, I'm like, no.
I wouldn't have believed it either until I looked it up.
I would not have believed it. I'm like, Don Sutton? Like, really? Him?
Yeah.
Like, Arrested Development. And then you got, and Greinke's numbers are kind of similar. Like, he's 21st in strikeouts. He almost got to 3,000. He's 21 short. And he's not great with wins, I don't think, because he played for crappy teams.
Right.
But he's like 71st. But overall numbers were like he was a solid pitcher.
Won a Cy Young, was a 6-time Gold Glover, 2-time ERA champ.
But Don Sutton wins this. He's top 15 in wins and top 10 strikeouts. But I was surprised on both of these guys' numbers. Because again, Don Sutton a little bit before my time. I do remember his 70s like baseball cards late. But Greinke, I remember watching Greinke, and Greinke was one of those guys where you just knew he's going to come out and he's going to shut the other team down. But I never thought of him as like in that Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, even like the David Cone type guys who did not make the list on that. So we got another one, Steve Carlton, Don Drysdale. I'll be completely honest. Steve Carlton is one of my all-time favorite pitchers, a lefty. And then Don Drysdale, who again, looking at, I did not know much about Don Drysdale just because it was a little bit before my time.
Another great nickname, Big D.
Exactly. So Carlton
back, for crying out loud.
Carlton's going to win this though, because he's 11th in wins. He is top 4 in strike. He's only one of 4 people to have 4,000 strikeouts. And if you look at the list, I don't think anybody else is going to get 4,000 strikeouts.
No.
If you look at the list, I don't know if anyone gets. Here's the thing. I am pretty confident that we will never have another 300 win pitcher. Yeah. Verlander's got 266, but he's 43. I don't see him getting 34 wins the rest of his career. He's the next highest on this list. Scherzer's 41. He's got 222. It's just, you're not going to get it. Because guys aren't going to be pitching for the amount of time that you need to pitch. And a lot of times they're going to let you pitch 5 innings. And if you're not ahead or the team gives up the stuff, you're not going to get it. So, and I don't know if we'll see any more 3,000 strikeout guys unless somebody's kind of like Chris Sale is like 400 away. He's 37. He's still pitching pretty well, so he could get there. Garrett Cole's like 800 away. He's 35. He really kind of got injuries and fell off. And then you got Yu Darvish at 39. Like there's nobody that's under 35 that's even close. And even guys like Skeens, Scooball, I just don't think they'll pitch long enough to do it because you gotta pitch like a lot more innings than these guys are doing.
Yep.
So Carlton's winning this one. One of 4 guys to get 4,000 strikeouts. You're winning your first round matchup, no matter who you're going up against, even if it's Jim Abbott in his one arm.
He didn't have a hand.
Yeah, he did have the arm. Yes, he just did not have the hand. You got Sandy Koufax, Dwight Gooden. Again, Sandy Koufax was more of I heard about him and how great he was. I did watch the amazingness of Dwight Gooden when he came up. And this is another one we talked about off air about PEDs.
Yeah, if we're going to put an asterisk next to Roger Clemens for steroids, we got to put an asterisk next to Doc Gooden, who was just blowing lines in between.
Exactly.
He was, and going back to the Pop episode, he was the original Dr. K before
he
Kroger.
Was.
And
yes.
I'm drinking a Mr. Pibb, but
Mr.
you know
Pibb.
what? Looking back on it, I think they should have called him Coca-Cola.
It would have been a little bit, we could have gotten away with it too if it's because of cocaine.
Cocaine.
Gooden
was amazing to watch, but yeah, and I never saw Sandy Koufax, but you look at Koufax's numbers and 4 no hits, 1 perfect game, I think.
No, Koufax was unbelievable. Like you just look at his numbers. He's one of those guys where if you didn't see him pitch, like you heard about Koufax, about how good he was. And Gooden, what hurt Gooden was he did not have the longevity because of his love of cocaine. But dude, his first couple seasons, he was electric. I remember him coming out and I remember watching like, oh my goodness, this kid has got some stuff. And like he only did 16 seasons. And then the latter half, he didn't play 95. The latter half was just like kind of a shell of himself.
Yeah.
But those first 2 seasons, oh my goodness, it was
85. He was the Triple Crown, the wins leader, and the Cy Young. Like that 85 season was just
and he finished 4th in MVP. I mean, he came out the gate 276 strikeouts, 268 strikeouts, 200 strikeouts, won 17, 24, and 17. ERA 260, 153, but he just did not have the longevity. And Koufax just like he had the numbers. So Koufax is moving on. And then another one that's just kind of like a meh kind of deal. I've watched both these guys, Mussina, Sabathia. They're kind of similar with their numbers and that kind of thing. I think I lean Mike Mussina. I think they both have a Cy Young as well.
Well, and Messina's 21st in strikeouts, Sabathia is 14th. Messina's 33rd in wins, Sabathia is 47th, I believe. Yeah, I was like Mike Mussina till he went to the Yankees, and then you just start hating people because they're a Yankee. But
exactly.
So yeah, I think I'm going Mussina over Sabathia.
Yeah, I would not either way do that. And then with this one, I was just thinking, it's like, I think I may just have to text Dave because I didn't have an out for if we don't agree on someone. I may just have to go text Noah, and he has no idea who these people are. I hate this one because I love Felix Hernandez was a dominant pitcher on a very bad Mariners team for so long, but he was so good. Like, dude, his ERAs like was unbelievable, and he could just strike dudes out. However,
it's not Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan, dude, we will talk more Nolan Ryan later, but yeah, like Felix Hernandez, go look him. Like, dude, he was electric, and he was like the best pitcher for a couple years, and just he was one of those guys. I think he won a Cy Young, I think, with a losing record. He did not quite get to 3,000 strikeouts. He did win a Cy Young, and he was 13-12. So no, yeah, that's nuts. So, but Nolan Ryan's winning, so that gets the first round in. We will we always go a little bit faster later on because we talk about a lot of these guys when we're first going through it. All right, we got a teammate off, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine.
The brave off, because what did the Cubs
off.
do? What did the Cubs do when you have a 26-year-old win the Cy Young? You're like, we don't need him. So let the Braves have him.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I get so mad about. Like, dude, you got a 26-year-old pitcher just won the Cy Young. He was like you just knew like he was different. We don't sign him like that. What are we doing? The trajectory of that team
was when the Tribune and the team.
Yeah, I know that's ridiculous.
I'm taking Maddux over Glavine in this.
I am too. Like it's not even close.
Anybody who pitches, a no-hitter in less than 80 pitches.
That like, and a perfect game in 78 pitches. Like, whatever, I'm doing this. It is that. So we got Warren Spahn, Pedro Martinez. Like, this is a tough one because, again, I never watched Warren Spahn, but he is 6th in wins. Martinez, does he have 3? I don't think he has 300 wins. I am pretty sure he does not. And then strikeouts, Pedro is 15th in strikeouts. Spahn is 31st in an era where it was different. I think I go Warren Spahn.
Yeah, sixth overall in wins, even though it was, it's the 50, so I don't know if that makes it easier or harder. But yeah, sixth in wins, I think, has to put you to the next round.
Yeah, and Pedro is good, but like I think Warren Spahn, just the body of work is better. Tom Seaver, Justin Verlander. I think I'm going Seaver. I just think he's the better pitcher.
Yeah.
Even though he was not married to a supermodel, we'll give it to Tom Seaver. Kershaw, Bob Gibson. I think Gibson wins this one as well.
Yeah.
Even though, side note, as most of you probably know if you're sports fans, Clayton Kershaw, high school teammates with Matthew Stafford.
Oh, that's the first I've ever heard of that. They should mention that during football games.
They should mention it all the time. Clemens, Fergie. We love Fergie, but like it's not even close.
No.
I'd be interested to see what Fergie would have done had he been pitching for a team that could win more than like 60 games in a year. Yes. Randy Johnson, Don Sutton. This is a good 4-5 matchup. I think I'm going Randy Johnson.
I am too. The guy was just a monster.
Yeah, dude, 4,000 strikeouts is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I think he's the reason the Expos don't exist, because they're like, how did we mess this up?
Exactly. No, there's like no way. Nolan Ryan's beating Mike Mussina down below, and then we got the Carlton Koufax matchup, which I know Carlton 11th in wins, 4th. Like he's got 4,000 strikeouts.
Yep, I think that's what does it right there.
Yeah, because Sutton has 30. He's 7th. He's got 3,500. He does not have as many wins either. Like Carlton's got him in both categories. So why are we even talking about this, Nate?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, no, that was Koufax.
Koufax.
Yeah, but he's got him beat by
4 hitters in a perfect game, dude.
Yeah, which is impressive. But he was probably pitching against plumbers, if we're holding all the sports true. That anybody that played before like the 2000s were plumbers. But that's a whole nother podcast for that. So, Greg Maddux, Warren Spahn. I don't. Huh?
Give me the Mad Dog.
Yeah, I don't think if you did not watch Maddux pitch on a regular, you don't really get a good feel for how good he was.
In 5,008 innings, he had 999 walks, 177 of them were intentional, and 24 were Barry Bonds.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And I think there was a stat too where it's like I think it was in his career, like I think it was under like 50 times. It may have been less than that. Like he went to a 3-0 count on anybody. That was not an intentional walk.
Right.
But the fact he had under 1,000 walks and 5,000 innings, and you
and 177 of them were intentional.
Yeah, 177 were intentional. Like, dude, he was so good. It was unbelievable what he could do, and not just because he could throw the ball 102 miles an hour.
Right.
So yeah, Maddox is definitely going on.
You didn't need a big arm, man.
He did not. Maddox going to the Final Four. Then we got Seaver Gibson 2-3 matchup. As much as I love Bob Gibson, if you look at the numbers, I think it has to be Seaver. Seaver is 18th in wins with 311. He is 6th in strikeouts.
And he has a no-hitter.
And he has a no-no. And Gibson, I think Gibson was one of those guys where he just was dominant. But like you look at his overall numbers, not always as impressive as maybe some of these other guys. But I still think, like, even if his numbers aren't as good as maybe a Burt Blyleven, I think he's still better than Burt Blyleven. So, but they're not as good as Tom Seaver. So Seaver, Maddox in the Final Four. And then we're going to go Clemens, Randy Johnson in a heater off, man. These guys could just throw. I still say, as great as Randy Johnson was, it is Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens is 9th in wins, 3rd in strikeouts. He does have 4,000. So Randy Johnson, he's just got 203 more strikeouts than Clemens.
And he's like 22nd in wins or something. So yeah. I think Clemens edges this one out. 2-time Triple Crown, 4-time MLB wins leader.
Yeah, it's Clemens.
7-time ERA champ, 5-time strikeout champ.
Yep. And then you've got Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan, the only pitcher with 5,000 strikeouts, and not just the only pitcher with 5,000 strikeouts. He has almost 900 more than Randy Johnson at 2.
Yeah. And he's got 7 no-hitters.
7 no-hitters. And I think he has something like 8 more one-hitters. And if you look, like, Nolan Ryan, again, he's never going to be up there, even though he pitched 27 years. He's not up there in the wins like you would think someone that pitched 27 years. He still has 324. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But again, I think there was like 100 or so games where he did not win, either didn't get a decision or lost, where his teammates gave him 2 or less runs. You look at his ERA in his prime, and it's unbelievable. He's had like 3, 4, 5, 6 times he threw 300 Ks. He had like a 200 pitch game one time. Never won the Cy Young, but that was,
blasphemy.
It is blasphemy, because the one year, I can't remember who won it. I think it was like 70. It was some cheesy guy won it, and I can't remember who it was, but he should have done it. But he never had the wins, really, and that's what people look at. And he had so many losses and stuff, but he was so dominant. I know Steve Carlton, again, has a few more wins. He's only got 5 more wins than Nolan Ryan. But Nolan Ryan's got like 1,600 more strikeouts. I think it's Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it may look like that Nate and I, because we're right-handed, we are anti-lefties because we're going to have an all right-handed Final Four. But that's just the way it is with this.
Yep.
So Clemens, Ryan, the 1 and the 2 seed. You've got Seaver, Maddox, 1 and 3. Maddox, Seaver, I think it's going to be Maddox for me.
I agree.
I think he may be the best pitcher of all time. We'll see here in a few. This is a tough one for me. Clemens, Ryan, because obviously Clemens has 354 wins, Ryan 324, so he has 30 less wins. Obviously, Ryan has the strikeouts on him.
Yeah, he's in first by strikeouts. I mean, second place is 836 strikeouts behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a buttload that he's.
Yeah. So now you're looking at like, and again, steroids, none of this stuff is going to play to this at all. Because Clemens, by the time Clemens was using it, he had already proven himself as one of the all-time greatest pitchers.
Well, that's the thing with him and Bonds; they were already Hall of Famers when they started it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
No.
For me, and it's just me personally, I love Nolan Ryan. I just think that dude just pitched, just give me the ball. And I think what would push this over is he beat the crap out of Robin Ventura so bad. It wasn't even close. He's an unk with this young guy. And suck it to the White Sox fans. Nolan Ryan, I think if it's this close, that pushes Nolan Ryan over the edge. Not that I don't think Roger Clemens could beat up Robin Ventura, but I don't think it would have been as convincing as Nolan Ryan.
Is because Nolan Ryan was 46 and Robin Ventura was 26.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was old.
It reminds me of Happy Gilmore with Bob Barker. By the way, who won that fight?
Exactly. I'm going Nolan Ryan over Clemens. Like, dude, I love Nolan Ryan so much. The way he pitched, the fact that he just was like, it was unbelievable. So we got Ryan, Maddox in the finals. This is a tough one for me. And why did not my little I deleted it? Oh, okay, well, I'll have to fix that in post, but I must have deleted the in the Excel spreadsheet the formula to put those two to the next level. So Ryan, Maddox, like I said, Maddox 355 and wins. Ryan 324. Close. Strikeouts are not even going to be that close, but Maddox is 12th in strikeouts. I think, as much as I love Nolan Ryan, I think it has to be Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux won 4 straight Cy Young Awards. And I know I said I'm not going to weigh stuff like Cy Young and stuff that much, but you won 4 straight Cy Young Awards.
I'm going to have to go, as much as I love Maddox, I think I'm going to have to go Nolan Ryan. I think the 7 no-hitters that spanned 20 years, I mean, from 73 to 91, 7 no-hitters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
strikeouts. And if it comes down to anything, if anybody throws a bad pitch, what's the first thing you go? Oh, nice throw, Nolan. Nobody goes, oh, nice throw, Maddox. So it's the insult factor. You know,
it is the insult factor.
You do something stupid, somebody calls you Einstein. If you throw something bad, right. Oh, way to go, Nolan.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out who I sent it to. I could send it to Dave, but I sent him, hey, give me your top 10 and then give me some guys that, you know, are kind of under the radar. And he even put in here, he refused to include the super old-timey guys like Walter Johnson and Cy Young. I will not tell you what the next sentence was about those guys. I'm
curious.
I could forward it to you so you know I'm not lying with this, but I would text this to him, but I've already got his list.
Okay.
I will forward it to you so you know I'm not lying. He has Ryan 5th and Maddox is 1. And he says, no one was more masterful than Maddox.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. And if he went Ryan, I would be like, that's fine, because Nolan Ryan's great. I love Nolan Ryan. What Nolan Ryan did with the no-hitter, like I think the no-hitters, I think should have more weight than Cy Young Awards, because it's harder to yeah. I'm not gonna say it because like Dave's got, you know, but I'm with him though.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I'm like I would have gone either way. I just like Ryan, like I like either way, I don't care. Like if we did this next week, I might go, you know what? I thought about it. Nolan Ryan with the 7 no-hitters, the strike, like the dominance with the strikeouts.
And beating the crap out of a guy 20 years
and beating the crap out of a guy. But the thing with me is I know
the bloody mouth game, great image.
Right. And Maddox, you know, coined the phrase chicks dig the long ball. And Maddox, it was 31 more wins. Ryan had more seasons, and I know playing on better teams will help. And that 90s Braves team was unbelievable. But you look at the late 80s, and the late 80s Cubs weren't horrible. Like the 89 team, like they did make it to the playoffs, but
was that the earthquake year? The earthquake at the
yes.
We lost to the Giants.
So.
Giants went to the World Series, and there was the
Yep,
earthquake in the World Series.
Exactly, because Will Clark batted like 12,000% against us, and we sucked. Like we could not hit.
Super underrated first baseman Will Clark.
He is, and he's a great dude. Like to listen.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at these wins, like from 88 to 2006, he didn't win fewer than 15 games but once, and that was back when he was with the Cubs. Back in 2005.
Which is another reason, like, hey, we'll just let this guy go. These guys are a dime a dozen. We'll get
exactly. Yeah, so outside the first 2 seasons of his career, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 6, he won at least 13 games. He just, like it's a coin flip with these guys, and I would have been fine with Ryan also. But like Maddox wins, so that's the starting pitcher matchup. So
we'll see if he has to go against Chuck Norris.
See if he has to go against Chuck Norris, or maybe have to fend off White and Nerdy.
Oh man,
because that's it. We only have the 3, right? That's the only 3 we have. Because we had the Champions bracket, Chuck Norris, Weird Al, and then we had no bracket, and then it was the bracket. So,
and if anybody's never seen it, have you seen the Greg Maddux when he pranked Chris Bryant when he was like dressed up like the camera guy?
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. Just look up Greg Maddux prank on Chris.
Yeah. Bryant. Maddux played that off pretty well. I don't know how you don't know that. I don't know how you don't know that that's not him. So that's the bracket. So here's the thing I'll talk to you about, because next week, Emily and Adam, my one son's wife, are doing with my wife a Rink Girls Day. And when Adam and Elaine were over for dinner the other night, he was like, "Hey, can we do?" Because they want to do a 21 Pilots one. Okay. He and my other son Noah are a big 21 Pilots fan. They want to do it. I think it'd be fun.
It'd be useless.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just going to be there. It's going to be. I'm telling you what. It's going to be
a different Rink Brothers. You're just going to be.
It's going to be a different Rink Brothers. I'm going to be the dad of the Rink Brothers. Listening to them at the dining room table, if they bring that energy, it could be a phenomenal episode. All right. Because they are different on both, like on a lot of stuff, and they are both with this. They are both very opinionated on that. So we're going to do it.
I get a break next week.
Yeah, we're going to do it Saturday. Okay. I could do that Saturday, have that one. We could film still Sunday, because I know Mother's Day could be a weird one, because I don't know if you got flag football on Mother's Day.
We do. It makes Kelly super happy every year.
Well, we're doing a Mother's Day thing at the house real quick, and then Sarah's like, then I need you all to get out of here. Because that's been her gift, is we just leave and she has the whole day to herself. And then it works out. I'm like, because Sarah's like, you should probably spend Mother's Day with your mom. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. It's only an hour and a half drive. So we have the last 4 or 5 years done that. So we'll probably come down more in the afternoon. But if we're down there, we would have to do a podcast late that Sunday. So we'll talk off air.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not telling Kelly that I'm doing a podcast on Mother's Day.
Okay. Well, maybe we will. Maybe we'll do a podcast Sunday that we would just save for the. Or we would just save the.
We'll figure it out. Depending on the weather, we open up the cottage. We might be down there.
Yeah. I'll let you know.
I think it's another 4:30 game, and it's also day 2 of WrestleMania. So,
there you go.
Yeah, if we can,
we'll figure it out. We may have to put one in the can, and then we will just, or we do ours, and then I just save the 21 Pilots one for Mother's Day. We'll do that. So I'll just tell you that's the schedule. They didn't need to know, but Hey, we had 248 people watching this, so I appreciate everybody watching this. If you would like,
thank you, everyone.
If you would like, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. If you wanted to comment, no one commented about any of the pitching, which I just, I could have thrown your comment up on the board, but you did not, so that's fine.
Jim Abbott didn't comment because he's got to peck it out when
Jim Abbott's going to comment. There's going to be like these two guys have the 96th ranked college basketball show talking baseball, dogging on Jim Abbott. No, we're not. I love Jim Abbott. Jim Abbott was great.
Jim, you should have been in this.
Nate wanted Jim Abbott in this, but I just dude, he had 87 wins, which is great if you have one hand. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Anybody with one hand. All right.
But here's the question though. If he's a pitcher, I understand, would he have had more with two hands? He's still only got to throw with one. It's just the glove thing. It's thrown to first. I can understand. Dude, he had a lot of errors. Well, no kid, he's got one hand. Give him a break. You should not give him an error.
I think it would help because you got to do the glove transfer after every single pitch, as opposed to just watching the pitch.
Right.
So, but
maybe
the world will never know.
No. Maybe I could get Jim Abbott on the program. That would be amazing, and ask him about that kind of stuff.
Do you think he would have been better with two hands, Jim?
See, I think with that, this is going to be a whole different thing, but that is, because he had to get the glove on. You're focusing on that, and I think after a while, it's just muscle memory. But that's a tough thing to have to try to throw while holding the glove kind of on your other wrist, and then put that glove on, and it's just the whole thing. Which is more difficult than I think if people that have the blades for their legs from the knee down. Right. I think that's an advantage because you don't
pretty springy.
They look, number one, they're pretty springy too. You're not tearing an Achilles. I'm telling you that much right now.
Well, and here's the other thing with Jim Abbott.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a right-handed pitcher. He was forced into lefty. He could have been a monster throwing righty.
He might have been. And then the fact that he got a hit too, I think he did get a couple hits, which is amazing.
Yes.
With that against major league pitchers. No. And Jim Abbott, like I said, he really seems like he's a good dude also. So,
well, the fact that you have one hand, you're like, no, I'm still going to be a major league pitcher.
Which that's unbelievable.
Like the drummer from Def Leppard. You lost the drum. What are you going to do? I'm still going to play drums.
I'm still going to play drums with my feet, and then anytime Pour Some Sugar comes on, everybody's going to have to drum with one arm. And I'm telling you, if a Def Leppard song, any Def Leppard song comes on, unless it's prior to when he lost it, if you're not drumming one-handed, then you're just, I don't know what you're doing. I cannot be friends with you on that. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? I may have Jeff Thidoff, who does the fantasy show with me. He's been on the radio forever. He's got a ton of contacts. I could reach out and be like, hey, can you see if somebody wants to be on the 96th ranked? I'm just going to run that.
Till we get to 95, and then we'll just keep saying that.
I think we'll be top 75 by the end of this year.
Goals.
That's our goal. But it's weird because it has us pigeoned in as a basketball program because it's March Chadness and we talked college hoops. But as our theme songs have always said, we bring the madness all year long.
That's right.
And really, probably college basketball is probably our third, fourth most knowledgeable sport.
Well, because guys don't last 4 years anymore, so it's kind of hard to keep up with everybody. It was one thing when you knew who was going to be on each team every year.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a minute? Because we won't be talking college basketball too long. I miss those days, and it was Nick Wright, who I don't really enjoy his takes. He was talking about that. He's like, you look over the last decade, he's like, none of these teams are really that win the championship. He's like, this Michigan team, no one's going to remember them in 10 or 12 years.
Right.
He's like, the only ones you remember the Chris Jenkins shot. And maybe one other. You remember UConn because they went back to back, but you're not going to remember these teams like you did, the Phi Slamma Jamma. Yeah. Georgetown never won one, and we all know the Georgetown guys.
Right.
Partly because the one guy threw the ball to James Worthy.
That's right.
At top. So, and I hate that because there was you would have these guys that would stay for so long, the Mullins St. John's teams. You had the Georgia Tech team with Mark Price. which I do have a connection to somebody that does a podcast with Mark Price. So maybe we can get Mark Price on the podcast at some point. But I missed that with college basketball. We don't have that watching guys grow and develop. And sometimes they don't grow and develop with the same team because they're like, oh, I'm good on this smaller school. Now I can go play for a bigger team now.
Right.
Which I kind of hate.
So there are guys that play 4 years, but they've been on 3-4 different teams. So you don't
who was the one guy on UConn? Did you hear about that? The guy on UConn,
the guy who was on Michigan and left.
Yeah, he played 2 years with UConn, 2 years with Michigan. The 2 years he played at UConn were the last 2 years when they didn't win. He played 2 years with Michigan, the 2 years UConn won. So he played 2 years at UConn, 2 years at Michigan the last 4 years. UConn has won 2 of the last championships. Michigan won 1. He did not win a championship at all.
So I feel always work, young men.
I feel I feel bad for him, but I'm like, what are you gonna do? That's a great story to tell people. It's like, you didn't win, no. So he's probably gonna Winnie the Pooh some people because of that.
He's gonna Winnie the Pooh us.
So maybe I'll get him on the podcast, see how he feels about.
How do you feel about Winnie the Pooh guys in the fight?
How do you feel about not winning a championship, even though the teams you played for won 3 of the last 4?
Wah, wah.
Hey, that was the show. I know you got flag football to do. Yep. We've gone long enough. It's like an hour and a half, but I do appreciate the views. Please comment, go to fanstreamsports.com. Check out all our shows. We will have a bracket next week. We just don't know. It's going to be Nate and I, or it's going to be my 2 kids and I. So
it will be Rink brothers. We do know that.
We'll be the Rink brothers, and you just have to tune in next week to find out. So now the question is, can I end this with the one song that I kind of put together that's fading out? So, hey, Nate, always great talking to you. Glad you had a fun time in Florida. You're back. I will see you here in a couple weeks on that Friday, and then I'll be down for Mother's Day, so depending on what we do. And then we are going to do –
I will have your Rashaan Salam Conroy.
You better. But I know where you live, and I know the cottage. I know where that's at.
That's right.
So – yeah, and then also I know this is like stuff I could talk off air, but I don't care. It's my podcast. Kings Island Day, we got passes. Sarah wants to reinstitute the GE Day, Kings Island Day, where we will have a day where the rinks all go. So we will let you know on that as well. And if you guys don't have passes, we can get tickets for a cheaper rate. So, hey, again, thanks for watching. Appreciate all you guys. Help us to get to 74th. On podcasts that we have. Nate.
Later home.